Okay. Dear students of honors second year, this is our second class on right form of verbs. So we are going to start from the particular structure where we have stopped at the earlier class. Now let's start with this. Like look forward to, get used to, mind, worth, fancy, with a view to, and any other preposition apart from to. In these cases, we use main verb plus ing. For example, here in this sentence, I am looking forward to getting a reply from you. That is, I am looking forward to getting a reply from you. When I am using this word get, then I will use main verb plus ing, that is getting. Because after look forward to, we have to use main verb plus ing. However, if there is any other preposition like I have come here for learning English, for plus ing, because this is a preposition where we have to use main verb plus ing. However, if we use to, that is the infinitive form, then we need not to use any ing. We know that infinitive is to plus main verb. Like I want to learn English, and that's why I am here. Here we are not using any ing after main verb, but we are using ing when we are saying look forward to, with a view to, get used to, these phrases when we are using. If plus simple present plus future. In this case, the structure will be like if plus present plus future, because when I see that the word if is used, the connector if is used, and then we can see the subject. After the subject we will use the simple present form. Then we will use this future form, that is I will go. This is the simple future. When the basic structure will be changed, like instead of present we will use here past. We are using past indefinite tense, that is if you came, if you came, I would go. In this case, I am not using the future form, rather I am using would or could here. That is, this is the whole structure. If you came, I would go. This structure comes when there is past tense in any complex sentence. Now, if at any complex sentence we see that past perfect tense is used with if, then what will be the structure of the verb at the principal clause portion? Let's see. If you had come, I would have gone. This is the past perfect structure here, that is, we see that the past perfect tense is with if. If plus subject you, then we see the past perfect structure had come. Then we may see that after this subject I see I would have gone. That is, if we use past perfect structure with the subordinate clause if, then we will use would have or could have with at the principal clause. All of these structures, they are called conditional sentences. That is, all the ifs, they are actually called conditional sentences. Now, with conditional sentences, we have another structure, although there is no if in this structure. What is conditional sentence? Basically, conditional sentence is a sentence where there is a condition. In Bangla we can say যেখানে যদি কিংবা এই ধরনের কোনো শর্ত দেয়া থাকে, শর্তযুক্ত বাক্য, all of these things we call conditional sentence. So we see another kind of conditional sentence where if is not used. Had I seen him, I would call him or would have called him. Here we see that had plus subject plus past participle seen. Then I see that subject I plus would plus main verb call. Either we are using this structure or we will use would have plus called. That is, had I seen him, I would have called him. So when I am using this structure, had plus subject plus past participle, then we can see that we may use the structure subject plus either would plus main verb or would have plus the past participle form of the main verb with the sentence. What will we do when I am using while in a sentence? While watching TV, I heard the phone rang. This is a structure where I see while plus main verb plus ing, while watching. Here I see that watch plus ing has been used. Then we see that the principal clause has been used. So while watching TV, when the main verb comes just after the word while, then we are using main verb plus ing while watching. But if after while we use any subject, then it will be turned into past continuous tense. While I was watching TV, that is while plus subject plus past continuous tense. So when I am using while plus subject plus past continuous tense. In that case, we see that the subject is being used just after the word while. So while plus ing will be used when there will be no subject after while plus subject plus past continuous tense will be used if subject is used after while. Jim and Della are living happily. Here we see that Jim and Della, two particular subjects, they are added with the conjunction and. So if two subjects have been added with the conjunction and, then we are using the plural form of the verb. Here we are using are. But if two particular subjects refer to a single person, that is, the headmaster and secretary is absent. Here I am using the singular verb is. Now, why I am using this singular verb? While just a few minutes ago I have said that if there are two subjects, then we will use plural verb. The answer of this question is it really a plural subject or a singular one? We see that if the headmaster and secretary were different person, then of course another the will be used before the word secretary. So we understand the person who is the headmaster, he himself is the secretary. That is the reason if the subjects added with and refer to a single person or a particular single thing, then we will use singular verb, that is the headmaster and secretary is absent. While I am saying this, okay, another thing, if the subjects are added with and, but if we use each or every before them, then we will use singular verb here. For example, each girl and every boy is present, not are present. We understand that, okay, fine, there are many girls and many boys and all of them are present, but we are referring to them, each one of them individually. Every and each, when these types of every, each one of the, when these types of pronouns will be used in a sentence to with a subject, then we will use the singular verb. For example, every man is bound to die, not are bound to die, and not every man. One of the boys is absent, not are absent. One third of the mango is rotten, one third of the mangoes are rotten. What is the difference? The difference is, at the first sentence we are saying that one third portion of a particular mango which we cannot count, which is not something referring to any quantity, any countable noun. One third of the mango is rotten, so we can't count it, just a portion. But here, when I am saying one third of the mangoes are rotten, we can count it because mangoes, so perhaps there are 9 mangoes, one third of them is 3 mangoes, and they are rotten. So when I am saying that one third of the mangoes are rotten, if there are the subject is countable 9 mangoes, then the one third of them is verb will be plural, and if the subject is they are rotten. Uncountable, so when I am saying the verb will be one third of the mangoes are rotten. If there are the subject is countable 9 mangoes, then the one third of them is verb will be plural, and if the subject is they are rotten. Uncountable, so when I am saying the verb will be one third of the mangoes are rotten. If there are the subject is countable 9 mangoes, then the one third of them is "50 miles is a long distance." When I am saying 50 miles is, then I am actually referring this big unit as a single unit. That is, the whole 50 miles, it is singularly a long distance. It is referred as a singular unit. So we can understand that when any plural quantity, it will be used as a very singular one or as a singular unit. It will be referred as a singular one, and singular verb will be used here. When I am using together with, when I am using along with, when I am using as well as, in case of all these things, we will use the singular form of the verb if the singular form of the verb will come in the beginning. That is, the singular form of the subject will come in the beginning and the verb will follow the singular subject, and eventually it will be turned into singular. Let's see a particular example. I, along with my friends, am coming. Now when I am using this word am coming, actually it is following this first subject I. I, along with my friends, am coming. So when it is being followed the particular subject I, it will be eventually turned into the verb will be eventually turned into a singular one, that is am. Just the reverse structure will be followed when I am using the words like either or, neither nor, not only but also. That is, the verb will follow the second subject, and if the second one is plural, then we will use it. We will use the plural form of verb, and of course if there is one singular, one plural, then the plural subject will come at the second position, like either John or his brothers are coming, not is coming, because the second subject is plural. So in case of either or, neither nor, not only but also, if there are two subjects and one is singular, one is plural, the plural will come at the second position and the verb will follow the second one. So with this structure, we are finishing our class on right form of verbs. Students, be safe and follow my next class, which will be on Wednesday at the same time. Allah Hafiz.